Hello. Today we're going to expand a little bit on the abdominal breathing that we worked on in the other video. I've got that linked below. So if you don't know how to do abdominal breathing, you might want to check out that video first. You can definitely do this one, but it will make a little bit more sense if you do the other one first. If you're not used to abdominal, diaphragmatic, belly breathing. In Reiki, it's the breathing practice Joshin Kokyoho that we use to call in the Reiki to get ready to do our session. So today we're going to add some Qigong movements to it, and we're going to add some cleansing breath to start. So why don't we just go ahead and start with some nice gentle breaths. Now, if you do know how to do abdominal breathing, go ahead and do that now. Just to explain briefly, it's the sort of breath where you make sure that you breathe into your belly instead of up here into your chest. If that doesn't make sense to you, do not stress over that right now. Slow your breathing if you can, and just come into the moment, into this moment. Settle in, lengthen the breath. See if you can make them a little bit deeper. Using the breath to bring your awareness into your body, into your center, into your lower dantian here. Couple of moments here to really get our attention focused. Forget about the rest of the day, what's happening later, or what just happened. Here we're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Nice, relaxing breath. Now next, when we move into the cleansing breath, we're going to do what we're doing now, except that we're going to breathe out through the mouth, and we might breathe just a little bit more quickly. So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, okay? Now just do that again at your own pace. This is a sort of toned down version of some of the yoga breathing that you may have done. The Vastrika breath, I think they call it, or the Kalabati is another version of this more, or those breaths. This one, we're just doing nice and gentle. If you know how to do those more advanced practices, you can go, I wouldn't even say advanced, but more intense practices. So depending on where you're at the moment, you want want something that's really cleansing. But if you're not used to doing it, you can get a little bit lightheaded, and so don't let that happen. If you're feeling funny, stop and go back to your regular, just long, deep breaths as we're doing. So I don't know if you were continuing with the breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth while I was doing all that talking, but let's go back here now to the regular, longer abdominal breaths. And we're going to go back and forth a couple of times between this slow, relaxing breath, abdominal breathing, and the cleansing breath. So let's do that now, just breathing in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Good. And it's back to your regular abdominal breathing, nice and slow. Dropping deeper and deeper into this feeling of stillness, settling your energy. And back to the cleansing breath when you're ready, okay? Good. Abdominal breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing, whatever you call it. This deeper breath into the lower abdomen, into the lower dantian. Now we're going to do the cleansing breath one more time, and you see how you feel. If it feels like that was too intense, just stay with this nice calming breath, okay? And if you're ready to try it again, go ahead, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good, and back to the abdominal breathing. Now at the end here, that we're sort of into our breathing, let's go ahead and do the chi belt breathing again. This is in the other video where we're just expanding our awareness of breath all the way around the body, okay? So as you breathe in, your hands are going to be pressed out with your breath. Just do that a few times. If you've already practiced this, you're practicing more. And if you're just learning it, start to get the hang of it. Breathing into the side body. Slow and deep through your abdomen. Good. And then the last one is kidney breathing. So you have your hands on your low back, right at the area of your kidneys. And same thing. Just paying attention to the back body, and you can feel your lower back muscles contracting and relaxing with the breath as well. It's a little bit more challenging to sense the breath, that slight movement in the back, than it is in the front and the sides. But little by little, you want to be breathing all around the center of the body, the area where the diaphragm is, attaching to the lower ribs, just like this. Okay, so leave your hands back here in your lower abdomen. What we're going to do now is, we just call it a three-part breath. And when we're doing all this work on the lower abdomen, we focus on it often because many times as we go through life, it's normal for us to breathe. If I say take a deep breath, for you to breathe like this. Many people do that, breathing using only the very tops of the lungs to breathe. And so what we're doing is training ourselves to breathe from the bottom of the lung all the way up to the top. And to do that, we have to start at the bottom, and many of us are not used to breathing that way. But it's not to say that we don't want to use the capacity of the entire lung. So what we're going to practice now is bringing the breath all the way up to the tops of the lungs, even though we're starting down here in the belly, okay? So just breathe belly, ribs, chest, and then chest, ribs, belly. So just expanding the inhalation. You're still contracting in on the exhale, press the air out of the lungs. And then just move the breath up the center of the body, belly, ribs, chest, and then chest, ribs, belly, and belly, ribs, chest, and chest, ribs, belly. So just practice that on your own for a couple more breaths here. The intention of filling that whole abdomen so full that then the breath begins to rise up to the lower and then all the way up to the top ribs. Good. Okay, let's do some chi massage. And chi massage usually just means knocking on the body. So let's do that right over the lower dantian here. And when we're knocking on the body, we're activating the chi, we're getting out the old stagnant energy, moving it to the surface so that it can circulate up and out with the breath. So just nice and gentle, right over your belly button or maybe a little bit lower. The intention of waking up that energy within. Now you're gonna, on your right, it's gonna look different on the camera, okay? But go up the right-hand side of your body and then over the middle and down the left. Following the way our digestive, the colon works. So just around in a circle, up the right-hand side, across the center, down the left-hand side. Good, and back to the center. Now we're going to take this chi massage all the way here up to the area of the lungs. So pay attention to your breathing again, if you stopped that. Nice deep breaths here. And stay with the belly breathing as best you can. Don't stress out about it, but just know that when you think of it again, come back to breathing with your abdomen, your lower abdomen first if you can, okay? So here, waking up the tops of the lungs. And then you're going to go down one arm, just tapping lightly with your other hand, and then turn your palm over and tap up the outside of the arm. All the way from where your neck meets your shoulder, right down the front of the arm, and up the outside of the arm. And as you're doing this, do it mindfully and sense how you're moving the energy, kind of coaxing it along the whole length of the arm, and then back up the outside, moving it along, waking it up. Now go ahead and do the other side. Down the outside, inside, sorry, and up the outside. Slow, deep abdominal breathing, teaching the body to get calm and centered and also alive and activated. It's the way we want to be doing our Qigong practices, our Reiki practice, our life as much as we can. Good. And one more time, back to the center here. I lose the mic, sorry. Good. Now, find your collarbone where it juts out right here. Okay, maybe with the other arm is easier. And follow it, press underneath the collarbone here until you can't feel it anymore. See, right here, it kind of bumps into my shoulder. So right there, go down just maybe about an inch or so and feel for 1 and 2, like kind of sore spots right here. Those are points on the lung meridian, lung 1 and lung 2. So let's like even more activate that lung energy that we're using for breathing, because we're doing breathing practices, right? Just do some circles, massaging right here. Take a moment to take some nice deep breaths. And then go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So find the knob of your collarbone right here and follow it. Press just underneath it until you get out till right here. I can't really move anymore. And then go down 1 or 2 inches and just massage that. Now, the lung 1 and 2, you can feel them because usually they're like a little bit more sore, or if not sore, like you'll feel like a little intensity when you hit the pressure points. And if you're not feeling that, don't worry about that. Just do some massage in that general area and know that you're activating that lung energy, bringing more chi into the lungs. Good. Okay, so now let's just stand for a moment, maybe shake out a little bit. I know we've been standing still. And see if you start to feel that activation in your hands, in your arms, maybe in your mid-body, your back. It'll feel like a little warmth or tingling, some kind of sensation that just feels a little more, hopefully, alive and activated than when we first started. Let's just do some shaking for a moment here. You are just using your ankles, your knees, your elbows, your wrists, even the back of your neck a little bit to pump the energy throughout the body, activating. And do a little on the lower body as well, because we spent all that time activating the lung meridians. Good, and just shake that out. All right, so now what we're going to do is work on the rib cage a little bit, stretching the muscles a little bit and opening the ribs to the side as we work on our breathing, so that we can soften the whole rib cage area, relax it, so that we can bring in even more air, which is of course more chi, more energy. All right, so we're going to start with separating heaven and earth, and the way to do that, I'll get here, is you're going to have both of your hands in front of you like this, and then have one palm, and it doesn't matter which, facing the earth. You're going to bring the other one up over your head so that the palm is rotated up facing the sky. And all you're going to do is lean over and stretch that arm so that you feel a nice stretch all the way up the side of the body. And then straighten up, spiral the hands down through your midline so that they change position. One palm down, one facing up. And then stretch over. And back to the center. Bring everything in as you spiral the hands in the opposite direction. And now inhale here. And when you inhale, put your focus right here. Imagine those ribs expanding as you bring more breath in there, giving your lungs more room to expand too. And then exhale to the center, spiral your hands, and then inhale. And exhale, separating heaven and earth. And exhale. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose now. Mind your low back. Have your knees slightly bent. Make sure that your low back is not arching back so that it gets sore. Have it neutral or slightly tucked under. Inhale. And exhale. Now use your breath to move your body. Start to feel the softness of the energy as opposed to like stretching in a, I don't know, like a more vigorous way, using my muscle stretching as much as I can, like that. Make this stretch follow the air. Rather than forcing it. And this is a simple movement, but that is something to practice. Moving the body with the air instead of with the muscles. I'm saying air because we're practicing breathing, but know that the air brings in the energy. It's like the energy sort of travels with the air. So feeling for that softness of movement, that ease of movement. Let's do one more to each side. Good. And back to the center. Let's just stand for a moment. Notice how your body feels. Shake everything out if you need to. You don't want to stand in one position for a long time. You don't want the energy to get stuck if you're got your knees locked or you're like doing something unnatural. Like, not that it's unnatural, but a lot of times we will stand like either arched like this or too tucked under like this. So always trying for a neutral spine every time that you think of it. And if the energy starts to get locked in one way or the other, shaking out your hips and your knees to make sure that everything here is feeling also soft and supported. Okay, so we did separating earth and sky to work on the side of the ribs here. Next, we're going to do heart to the sky and heart to the earth, and we're going to open the ribs this way and this way instead of to the side. So heart to the sky, all you're going to do is put your hands in Reiki. This is Gasho, right? Two hands coming together. And then you're just going to open to the front. So inhale here and exhale. Open the whole front of your body here. Make this a nice, gentle movement. And then in the back, as you come forward, a little crunching in here, and your shoulder blades are going to be separating a little bit on the back, right? So inhale, heart to the sky. exhale, heart to the earth. Make space between your shoulder blades. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now it's slight, but feel the whole opening of the front of the body. You rock forward onto your toes a little bit when you open, and then you rock backwards onto your heels a little bit when you close. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, make space between your shoulder blades. Our ribs, of course, go all the way around to the back, right? So here, opening the rib cage here, and then in the back here, opening the the shoulder blades, and sort of imagining that the back ribs would like be able to spread out a little bit too. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 3 more like this. Heart to the sky and heart to the earth. Good. Shake that out a little bit. The last one we're going to do, we've opened the side body and the front and back. Now we're going to do a little tiny bit of like a back bend and forward bend, but not a forward bend where we go all the way to the floor and all the way back. Just think of it as a back bend and a forward bend as you think about your spine deep in there and the ribs attached and everything opening this way and then contracting this way. I don't know if my hands are doing a good job showing you. This way and this way, right? As opposed to like opening on the sides and then front and back. So now we're going to do our best to draw everything apart and together. All right. This is Buddha holds up the earth. So if you've been practicing Qigong with me, we do this all the time, right? As part of our regular the first set of the 5 element practice. All right. So you're just going to have your hands here facing your body over your lower dantian, your lower abdomen. You're going to inhale the hands up the body facing you and then spiral them up over your head so they're facing the sky. A little pause here, and then exhale, spiral the hands back down facing your body. Exhale, little pause, and inhale here. Pause and exhale. See, it's really slight, but can you get that feeling of your spine stretching as you go up and then coming together as you go down? Think of those each individual little vertebrae opening and closing a little bit. Buddha holds up the earth. Now see how your breath works here. If you can inhale, belly, ribs, and chest, and exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. If that feels awkward, don't stress about it, but if you want to practice it, that's a great thing to do while you're moving your arms up and down. And see about the speed of your breathing, right? That's another thing to practice. If it's hard to breathe that slowly, you might find yourself. Now, the objective is to breathe, to lengthen the breath, breathe more slowly. But if that doesn't work for you right now, then you have two choices of either speeding up your arms or taking 2 breaths as you go up. Either way is fine, but just decide what you're doing. Oh, today I'm going to work on lengthening my breath. Oh, today I'm going to work on coordinating my breath with my movements, even if I have to breathe a little more quickly to do that. Good. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring your feet close together and your arms up over your head and just down the center, pulling down the heavens. Little final balance and centering. Inhale here and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. And exhale. Good. Now let's finish up the way that we started. Breathing slowly and deeply into the lower abdomen. And hopefully, little by little, this practice will help you to feel grounded and centered, yet your energy alive and moving. Good. Now, this practice is nice to do in addition or while you're learning or after you feel comfortable with abdominal breathing to expand it, expand your capacity for breath as we talked about today. And that's like especially moving into the side body, doing the opening and closing and the opening and closing like longitudinally as well, whatever you would call that. And then we also did the clearing breath, and which is just breathing out through the mouth, in through the nose, and out through the mouth, in the same way that we do abdominal breathing, except that when we're relaxing, we breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And when we're clearing energy, usually to start, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, so again, if you haven't checked out that other video that details the abdominal breathing, go ahead and do that. Come back and practice this. It's going to be really helpful for your Reiki practice to just have the abdominal breathing very natural for you, the cleansing breath very natural, so that as soon as you sit down, when you're doing your more formal practices, your Hatsure Ho to like call in the Reiki energy, then the breathing part of it is going to be very natural for you and everything will just flow from there. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for practicing with me.